Welcome to round 7 in Killarney, Cape Town, and a special edition of the Westbank Super Series, concentrating on the Bridgestone production cars 90-minute endurance race. I'm Greg Maloney. Alongside me will be Steve Bishop. It's going to be a good one.
Sean Dermody, in terms of this endurance, it's a nice mix, a great option. It's going to be great for the fans. But in terms of your team and your performance and your strategy, how's it been going so far?
Well, a lot of planning's gone into it, Steve. As you know, they've changed the pit stops to compulsory 60 minutes, so it takes a bit of the advantage out of it because we've got a few extras in the car, like the jacks and what have you. But we're still looking forward to it. It's a new race, and I think it's going to go well. It's going to be exciting. I hope the crowd stays for it. It's something new for us, and we'll see how it goes. And we're planning on taking points away from Nathan again.
We bring this to Cape Town. It's an hour and a half of racing. Are the cars up for it?
The cars are really up for it. The VW product is superb. We're going to just wind our necks in just a little bit, I think. Probably a second or two, try and make it last to the end. Make sure the cars are nice and cool when they come into the pit lane. And I'm sure we'll be fine. We're going to be right there.
Dean Somerset, Sasol's Motorsport Sponsorship Manager. What is the significance of Sasol getting involved with the Westbank Super Series this round?
Well, Sasol is the fuel sponsor for the production car category for this particular race, and obviously with the introduction of the 90-minute endurance race, we believe it's a very innovative step on the side of the organizers. And yes, innovation is also synonymous with Sasol, which makes it a perfect fit.
Well, we've seen Sasol fuel being burnt out there in a big way by the V8. Now it goes to an endurance format. Has this fuel got what it takes for an endurance format?
Well, I think history speaks for itself, and we believe at Sasol we have a fit for purpose and a premium fuel for that matter. And yes, indeed, it will work for the production car category, in particular the 90-minute endurance race.
It's a whole new ball game. 90 minutes of racing about to come your way. The Bridgestone production cars have already had 2 heats on the day. Sprint races of 6 laps each, and now it's 90 minutes of racing, and that is really tough on these cars, on the tires, and more importantly, on the drivers.
Yeah, Greg, we're going to have to really see if the aspirated cars really do have the advantage over the turbos, but the way that BMW's been performing the entire season, whether it be at altitude on the coast or up in the Gauteng area, it doesn't really matter. They're still a really, really hot package.
On board with Ferrari for the first time. He's just behind the 2 Subarus, and you can see, unfortunately, Davy Olivier not making it out onto the circuit in the 3rd of the Subarus. So it's a battle royal here between Henny Groenewald and Pinard, and it looks like Groenewald in the Sasol Timken Subaru just keeping that Indy Oils Audi very, very confidently on the outside of the circuit. He goes on the inside of Pinard, tries to get up the inside of Groenewald and makes it stick.
Yeah, great drive by Johan, of course, the former champion. It's had a dismal season. Maybe he'll be able to rectify things and keep that car together. Of course, their package has been strong this weekend as well, and he always seems to perform well here in Cape Town.
Hometown advantage from him, so that's exactly what he's trying to get away with here. Unfortunately, it hasn't gone well, as you said, in the 2 sprint races. These are the boys that had to be beaten. And right now, it looks like it's formation flying for BMW, because there's all 3 of them at the front end. With the Cunha in the first, the rear-wheel drive Nissans there. Good to see the Sam boys giving a real good effort in this 90-minute.
Yeah, Cape Town corner has always been interesting for me because there are so many lines into that. I've been watching in the sprint races as well, and everybody has a different line going in there, hopefully with the same result coming out the proper way.
That's the way it should happen. Down to Westbank corner one more time, and you can see the guys taking it a lot more easy. Well, well, as I say that, you see a Nissan getting a little squirrely into West Bank corner, trying to put the pressure. In fact, he goes wide. Oh, man, the Cunha, you're making a big mistake there, bud. He gets it completely wrong coming out of West Bank corner, and that allows the first of the Engine Extreme Audis through. That's Michael Stephen. Now, he's moved up and changed cars with Chop Sapuka. His car wasn't working great. He asked Chops if he could borrow his, and it looks like it's definitely paid dividend.
Yeah, it pays testament to their team as well, and the attitude that goes with it, and I think Terry Moss has done a great thing with the attitude in their team. Of course, Chops has had a dismal season as well by his standards, but yeah, I think that's really, really cool. To put Michael in a chance for third in the championship, he had to do that.
There you see Sapuka just behind the ailing car there, the Nissan of the Cunha. We're back on board with Farid down this back straight away. And these cars probably about 230, 240 kilometers an hour before they climb onto the brake shaft for Cape Town. A big power differential here at the moment between the BMWs and the Audis. And of course, the Audis, as we said, have battled all weekend. They just haven't got to grips with the circuit. And normally, this is the kind of circuit that they go really well at.
Yeah, you're 100% right. In history, they have been, and they've proved it time and time again. But you know what? It's been a really strange season. Results not going the way that we thought they would, and other people really coming into the picture as well. So that's great for motor racing.
Speaking of coming into the picture, the first time we've seen Class T's, and it looks like some of the Class T guys are actually hassling some of the Class A contenders already. Gennaro Bonafide, this is the Ferraro Volkswagen GTI, coming up on the back of Michael van Rooyen. Just ahead of him is Kieran Kwambi. The other two Fords are there too, and Nathan leads out at the moment, and he's hassling Pinard and Groenewald in the Subarus in a GTI.
Yeah, I know, and they're Class A as well. It's quite embarrassing. But you know what? It's a long way to go. If I was him, I'd say it's all about strategy. Notice those onboard shots with Gennaro Bonafide. That's got to be the clearest picture I've ever seen of an onboard shot.
Yeah, the West Bank Super Series rapid motion cameras doing very, very hard work here today as they come down into Damstip one more time, and you can see the Nissan just falling by the wayside here. The Cunha is finding it very difficult out there, but I think he's just trying to nurse that car until you get to the first pit stop.
Normally it's the other way around. The car normally nurses him, because they've had some problems with power steering and all sorts of things going wrong for them the entire season. On the back end of Van Rooyen, we're on board again with Gennaro Bonafide, a 21-year-old university student. Look at these Subarus. Henny Groenewald trying to go on the outside, having a look at Richard Pinard at the moment. Right on his tail, well, who other than Graham Nathan?
For Marto, then Germany. Behind Germany comes Kieran Kwambi. Kwambi with a much better start here and looking good after taking his first victory earlier on in the day in one of the sprint races. So he looks to get the GTI up ahead of those two Fords as Nathan tries to get his GTI up ahead of the two Subarus.
Yeah, a lot of people think that these kind of races, endurance races, and particularly 90 minutes, you don't really associate 90 minutes with being an endurance race. They normally start around about 2 hours and plus, particularly in Europe. But this is new for all of them. There's only a few of the drivers out there that have actually done that kind of length in terms of distance. For the rest of them, this is brand new ground.
It certainly is. Gennaro Bonafide will be certainly getting to grips with his GTI. Comes alongside Michael van Rooyen and actually puts him a little bit off the circuit there. But I think that was Van Rooyen doing it all on his own. Has he got him under brakes? Let's have a look and see if we see a Ford sneaking up on the inside. Oh, it's going to be tight between these two boys. Oh, you can see how hard he's working. Van Rooyen's still there. He's not backing out of it, and he just sneaks through and takes that position again. Gennaro putting his hand up going, come on now, I had the line. Give me a chance.
And why would he? His name is Michael van Rooyen, and he races for Ford.
Exactly, Ford versus GTI. Volkswagen and the blue oval at the front end of Class T. Right now it is a Volkswagen product that leads out the two Fords there. Germany going very defensive and keeping Kieran Kwambi behind him. And Kwambi is, he's looking to get up there quicker than probably than what he'd like. Right now, Gennaro is just sitting there going, come on, Michael, let's go. That's exactly what he's saying. I think Michael's holding him back a little bit there. He hasn't got quite the pace that Gennaro's got. But Gennaro, unfortunately, bud, it's up to you to get past.
Yeah, no, they're also looking at their strategies as well. You're not going to be wanting to push these cars too hard. They've got a compulsory 6-minute, in fact, two of them 6-minute stops, just so that we let our race fans know about that. Oh, look at that. See the bumper on Graham Nathan's car starting to flip. Now, that could be dodgy.
You know, I think he's just lost the grille there. You know, he had a little bit of damage from the earlier incident between some of the cars, and you can see the Volkswagen badge has been knocked off, and that's just allowing actually it's the bonnet that's starting to flip up and down. It's not going to affect the car's handling that much, but it will become a little bit of a concern, I think, if you can keep seeing that all the way through. Doesn't seem to be worrying him too much because he's got that Sassel sticker right underneath the car. Maybe that's just holding the car together, because it's definitely holding the car together and giving it the pace, because all these cars on Sassel fuel for this 90-minute.
Check it out, Kwambi and that GTI, of course, put together by Nathan's Motorsport. There's a big contingency of them, of course, Graham Nathan himself, and flying the flag high for them. Of course, he's been performing so well over this weekend in practice and, of course, some great results in the sprint. This is his championship. He can increase his lead right now, double the points, 20 points. There was a possible 40 on the day. I'll tell you what, that's what he's looking for. That's where he's aiming for. And can he make it stick before we get down to East London?
That's the next round. What's going to happen now, though? Oh, looks like yeah, Nathan going into the pit lane early on. He's in the first 20 minutes, and once the 20 minutes is up, you can come in for that compulsory 2 6-minute pit stops. They've got to be stationary on the pit lane for 6 minutes. And this is going to be an interesting thing, because a lot of these guys haven't had an opportunity to actually do a full-fledged pit stop in the pit lane.
Will already panic. You can see it in their movements, in their body language at the moment. They're a bit flustered, under pressure, but they've got 6 minutes. Well, that's what they need to realize.
A lot of people don't realize how long 6 minutes actually is, and I was standing in pit lane with these guys when they were coming in, and the guys hitting the stopwatches were saying to them, yeah, you still got 4 minutes to go, and they'd finished everything. They'd refueled the cars, they'd changed all 4 tires, and they were good to go, and then had to sit there for 4 minutes. Now, for an average layman, you think about 4 minutes goes by quite quickly. But then, as we see Reggie Roots coming in to do his one, at 4 minutes when you're standing stationary and the racing's going on next to you, you start to worry. You're thinking to yourself, how much time am I actually losing here?
Well, I was speaking to a couple of the guys in the pits as well about this, and of course, as you say, a lot of them were getting this pit stop done in under 5 minutes. So they were like turning around and saying, well, you know what, we don't need 6 minutes. Maybe they could have actually done it, thought it through a little bit more, but I reckon 5 minutes would have been the benchmark.
You know what, at the end of the day, it's the first time that they've tried this. It's definitely working in terms of a spectator side of things, because a lot of the spectators stuck around to watch this particular race, even though it is an endurance race, and we're not used to endurance racing here in South Africa. It's more the sprint stuff that we're used to. These guys getting to grips with things quite nicely, and you can see even the pit crews started to realize that they can take their time, they don't need to rush, and they can get the cars out in pristine condition.
On board with Johan Ferré as well in that Indy Oil Audi as well, and of course the Cape Townian champion at the moment. It's going to be a sad ending to this year for him, but he still is racing for pride on their way down to Cape Town corner. Great shot. On board now, this is Chop Sapuka, or is that to Michael Stephen? Because they have switched the car, so that's going to confuse me right now.
Yeah, that's Michael Stephen. Red wing mirrors will be with Michael Stephen in Chop's car. Remember they swapped out earlier on. Ferré now just behind him and just taking it relatively easy. Now, that's the important thing with endurance racing. Looks like Ferré's going to be coming in, though. Yes, Johan Ferré coming into pit lane too. So some big changes up here, and guys coming in really early on. So some tactics going to be played around here. I think the one thing they need to realize is if you're in the Engine Extreme Audi team, like Michael Stephen and Chop Sapuka are, you've got a maestro when it comes to endurance racing in Terry Moss. I'm sure he's got everything worked out to the final second.
You know what, and if he does experience some problems, I guarantee you on that note that he will have an alternative strategy in place. That's just the way he rolls.
Speaking of rolling into pit lane comes the first of those Engine Extreme Audis, and that's Michael Stephen coming to the pit stop. You can see a lot of these guys using fans to try and cool the cars down. Quick changes on the wheels, and of course getting that Sasol fuel into the cars. Speaking of Sasol fuel, here comes some of the Sasol 4s at the front end here. No change in terms of the positioning there. For Marto is still ahead of Germany. Kwambi now in third place with Nathan in pit lane.
Yeah, I had Germany feeling a little upbeat after this weekend. They had a few niggles as well, and Gary Vermaat is certainly on the pace. In fact, all the Fords were on the pace as well, and what a great day it's turning out to be, and a brand new kind of racing format here for Cape Town as well. And as you said earlier on, look at those fans in the stands sticking it out.
Just love the fact that Cape Town went all out for it as well, because the Killarney circuit actually put up a massive tent. There you see Graham Nathan making his way out after his pit stop. Everything going according to plan, and he'll make his way back out onto the black stuff and resume his position. Pete, an early change there for you guys coming in so early. You think it's going to pay off at the end?
I don't think it was that. The tyre on the right front didn't like the pace. So that's what happened. I don't think it was scrubbed in enough. That was the reason for that.
So basically not a planned stop then?
Not a planned stop, but we've done it the right way. So we've done 1 6-minute stop already. We'll see how we go from here.
Oh, look, there's Johan Ferré. Now, hang on a second. He's going out a little bit too early at the moment.
That's a little bit too early. He should have gone out after Richard Roots. Roots came in first. Roots has stayed his full 6 minutes in the pits. I think Johan Ferré actually left a little bit too early. He's going to be penalised for that. That's going to cost him dearly at the end of this race.
One of the things that we were told in terms of the timing for these 6-minute pit stop is that they've rounded up a crew of people with stopwatches and allocated them to certain teams, and of course they get timed. Also, there is a set speed limit in the pits as well. You break that and you're going to be penalised a lap as well. Back, having a look at Johan Ferré and being chased down by, looks like, Gary Vermaat.
Formado's still out there, hasn't made his pit stop yet, neither has Germany. Faris back out on track, and I think Richard Roots will be just behind him. Here comes Kwambi. There's the first of the BMWs, and in fact, that's not Roots. I expected to see Roots. That is, in fact, Anthony Taylor. So Taylor hanging on to the lead of this race for now, but how much longer? Because he's still got to go in and do his compulsory first pit stop. There's Graham Nathan just behind him. Here comes Terry Moss, and in fact, Chop Sapuka coming in probably a little bit earlier than what Moss expected, but not to phase the maestro. He'll be ready for him. You can see the guys just making sure that car comes in just ahead of Michael, and they'll get Michael back out on track and then deal with Chops.
Blue flag is waving, and that means a faster car is coming through, and that is Anthony Taylor and Team Afrox BMW getting the better of Kieran Kwambi. Two drivers in that team as well, Lee Thompson. Of course, it will be Kwambi still driving because they haven't had their first pit stop yet.
Two cars in the pits at the same time. Is that part of the plan?
Definitely not. Tyre elimination. Chops came in unexpected. We're supposed to go on about 20 or 26 laps. Hasn't worked to plan. We have to change the strategy quickly. But there's so much time in the pits now. We can relax, get it done, and make sure we get to the end of the race. We might have to do more pit stops than planned.
The use of Ryobi leaf blowers, part of the Engine Extreme arsenal of tools.
There's no doubt about that.
It cools the car down though, so it worked. No problem with that. Yeah, you can see the lone Mazda out there. First distribution Mazda MPS. That's George Smallberger. Unfortunately, Heinz Berzer wasn't able to make it out in the MFC sponsored one, so it's only one Mazda out there. As you see, Germany's come in. Looks like Formato's in too. Great to see them getting that Sassel fuel onto these cars and into the cars, because Sassel coming on board for this Bridgestone production car 90-minute endurance race. Great to have a big sponsor like Sassel behind this kind of racing.
Yeah, the other rule as well, referring to the pits, there's the radar gun. We were talking about a 40-kilometer speed rating. Oh, look at that, 36, 35. It looks like he's safe. And if they overstep that mark in terms of the speed in the pits, they get penalized by 1 lap. Back on board, they're having a look at the Team Ford, Sean Duminy, Gennaro Bonafide, keeping it smooth. And that is the secret, as you said earlier on, Greg, consistency and smooth laps.
Well, a couple of laps down now, and we're actually about half an hour into the race. Just give you a rundown. In Class A, Henny Groenewald actually leads out. Gennaro Bonafide, who we're on board with at the moment, is second overall on the circuit. Kurt Elchin has moved up into third place overall. Marco Acuna, who we saw ailing a bit earlier on, he's in fourth ahead of Anthony Taylor. Faris up to sixth, but he's under a bit of COC scrutiny for leaving the pit a bit early. And then we've got Melville Priest, Michael Stephen, Richard Roots, and Chop Sapuka, your top 10.
Like to see how this index performance is going as well at the moment. And of course, there's a cash prize. One lucky driver, if they can keep that all together and consistently turn out the same sort of laps each lap, they're going to have a good chance of winning some cash money.
After an hour now, second pit stops, let's find out how Pinar's team is doing. All part of the plan so far?
No, we are on target with what we want to do. Our cars don't have a speed this weekend, so obviously we have to nurse the cars to fit to be in and see where we are for the last stint of 20 minutes or so.
Well, they let out for a long time, and now where the pit stops changes are happening left, right and centre. See Taylor's in. Oh, that's an interesting format of Sassel fueling.
I need something like that in my kitchen.
You've done this stuff before, so it's kind of not that hectic, but the pace is pretty hectic out there, dude.
Yeah, look, we've got quite a good pace. I must say the BMW is going extremely well. Once again, it's all due to the credit to the guys at ADF Motorsport. They're doing a fantastic job, and yeah, I'm going to try and keep the pace going like it's going, and let's see if we can come off with a win.
So a lot more cars coming in, and those incredible 6-minute pit stops. Nothing about speed. They just got to be consistent in what they're doing, making sure that they cross all the T's and dot the I's. And problem with Kwambi on that car, that's not going to be good.
No, it was it was actually very good. The sun started setting in your eyes and that, so the glare the track gets to you. But it seems like we got a bit of a gearbox issue. When I hooked forth about 4 laps before I should have come in, started making a big racket. So I think I'll give Kieran the last stint. He can break his own car. I won't feel bad about it.
That's not a bad option there, but you can see Dean from Nathan's Motorsport underneath the hood there, trying to sort that car out. Hopefully they get it going. Kurt Elchin makes his way back. Look at this, 10 minutes to go. The sun is setting over Cape Town. You don't get a much more pretty racetrack in the world.
Very picturesque as well. You sound like somebody I know.
Yeah, Nizam Essa though, check this out. Third place in Class T, bud, and looking good for possibly taking the cash. in the performance index class.
Yeah, and I bet he'd love to stash the cash as well. 15,000 rand up for grabs. I'll tell you what, that'll help build a few engines.
Yeah, drinks are going to be on him tonight, that's for sure. While across the line, looking like it's coming to the closing stage of the racing, and you see just how difficult things are getting. Gennaro Bonafide deciding not to run his headlights on this car, but everybody else definitely out there. Looking at the way things are standing at the moment, Melville Priest leads out. Anthony Taylor is second, and you can see Richard Ritz just unlapping himself there, going up the inside of our race leader. That is Melville Priest. So he's the man that they all have to try and catch, but you can see no one is even close to him as his teammate is going to run formation flying for him. Here comes second place on the road. That's Anthony Taylor. It's Afrox BMWs 1 and 2. I didn't expect that.
No, I must agree. And also with the index performance as well. I mean, you don't have to just win the race to win that as well.
Chop Sapuku in second place in that, but this is third and fourth on the road for the Engine Extreme Audis. That's a great outing for the two of them. Graham Nathan leads out as he sees another India Oil machine coming up on his inside. He is the Class T leader at the moment. He's got George Smallberger on his tail, but he's not going to be better by him as the checkered flag is going to drop for Melville Priest and the Afrox BMW team. 90 minutes of racing has been completed, and it's BMWs 1 and 2, Audis 3 and 4.
Well, the official results, Melville Priest, Anthony Taylor, Michael Stephen, Chop Sapuka, and Johan Farid.
Followed by Richard Ritz in the Rough Rider BMW Pinard, the first of the Subarus. Marco de Cunha didn't finish, unfortunately, needed it. Henny Groenewald, and of course a non-start from Davy Olivier.
Looking at the Class T at the moment, Graham Nathan, Gennaro Bonafide, Nizam Essa, great result for him. Sean Dumedy, Michael van Rooyen.
That's the top five. In sixth place, Nias Modak in the Woodmead Auto. Kurt Alchin in seventh. Smallberger finished 3 laps down, but did finish. Unfortunately, Kwambi and Famato didn't.
Well, it's all about the points as well. I mean, look who's put the points down. As predicted, Team Afrox. Melville Priest, one of a kind. You must be stoked.
Yeah, it wasn't such a tough race. We thought the 90 minutes was going to be long, but it actually went quite quickly in the stints we did it. I think we had quite a good strategy with a long middle stint. Worked well for us. We had 12 laps left at the end, and we pushed like qualifying, 12 laps of qualifying. And we managed to get into the lead with that. It was superb for Team Afrox, superb for my team. Vic did a great job on setting up my car for the endurance race, and it was excellent.
But at the end of the day, a great result for Team Afrox and yourself.
Yeah, no, it was a good result, and it's just a pity that I had a little bit of overheating trouble in the middle. But besides that, I think that's when Melville got ahead of me, and after that it was okay. So yeah, great result for Team Afrox, and I must say the BMW performance parts have really showed that they've got the potential to do long distance races like this and win them as well.
Well done on the third position. A tough race out there though.
Yeah, thank you. Firstly, I'd just like to thank Jobs for lending me his car. I had a few issues with my car, and we weren't quite sure if it would make the distance. It proved well. Chops made the distance and finished fourth, so it was a great result for him, and I'm glad he could come up there as well. But yeah, a great race at the end of the day, and just thanks to the team.
Graham Nathan, superb strategic race, but I'll tell you what, that car of yours is just amazing.
Superb teamwork from my team. I know the tempers were high, the guys were running around. We haven't done this ever, so we were stumbling all over each other and tripping and carrying on. A great job done by my team, Nathan's Motorsport, everybody involved with Nathan's Motorsport, as well as thanks to my sponsor. Without India Oil, we wouldn't be here. But yeah, a great job. The Golf 5 GTI is just a magnificent product. It just keeps pumping out the performance time and time and time again. What more can I say? VW's rule, but...
You must be absolutely delighted with this position in 90 minutes of racing here at round number 7.
No, definitely. I mean, you know, we had a tough day today at the office. The first 2 races we struggled a little bit. Qualifying, we were a bit off pace. We couldn't fix the problem going into the last race. But you know what? I went out there. We started 6th. First stint, we did 28 laps on a 1 set of tires. I mean, everyone says, oh, you can't do more than 10 laps. No ways. You drive it properly. You got the right car under you. You got the right Ferrota brakes. I mean, what more can you do? You go out there. We had a long first stint. I think we were consistent. I got held back a little bit by Michael. I couldn't pass him, but you know that was a bit of a downfall. But anyways, we came in. We did shorter stints in the middle stint, but we were on it the whole time. And then the last stint we went out there, I had I think 8 laps to go. And let me tell you what they said to me, my boy. You better go out there and you better drive as hard as you can.
You must be delighted.
Yeah, thank you very much. First of all, I just want to first of all thank As a Motorsport the team. They did an excellent job with the pit stop. Then to Army Levy Motorsport as well, Graham Nathan, and also to Stephen Grant for his support. And first of all, I mean, yeah, it's my home track, and I'm surprised in a way, but also not surprised. I'm really, really chuffed. The most important thing was for me is just to be consistent, and that was it. And I think I got third place, like on the third last lap or the second last lap. Yeah, I'm really chuffed. I'm really, really chuffed. It went well.
I bet your sponsors are too. Great job there from the Azrin Volkswagen GTI of Nizam Essa. He wins out the index of performance ahead of Chop Sapuka, Graham Nathan, Bonafide and Priest.
Now let's look at the damage done in the overall points championship as it stands. Team Afrop's BMW 228 leads out against Melville Priest, his partner, 147. So Michael Stephen putting a move on Johan Fourie.
Graham Nathan extends his lead in the Class T Championship ahead of Gary Famato with his DNF. Bonafide's up to third, Michael Van Rooyen and Kwambi's up there in fifth place, equal points with Sean Duminy. Volkswagen are still the team to beat, and you can see by running all those cars in Class T, it's definitely paying off. BMW are up there though, and so are the Fords. For more information on the Westbank Super Series, join us on the World Wide Web at westbanksuperseries.co.za.